Also pray that all the residents get looked after and taken care of. In your name we pray, Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. At this time, the time is 6 o'clock. We'll start the public hearing to receive comments from the public on the proposed creation of a tax increment reinvestment zone, TIRZ, to be known as a TIRZ number 2, Los Fresnos, Woods at Los Fresnos, Texas, TIRZ, pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 311 of the Texas Code. At this time, I don't think there's anybody here for the public hearing, so we'll go ahead and close it at 6:01. Moving on to visitors' remarks. Do we have any visitors' remarks? Okay, at this time I have David Gillespie. Good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for being here today. You have the floor and you have a 5-minute window, so welcome.
All right, good evening. As said, my name is David Gillespie, and I've been a resident here in Los Fresnos with my family for over 6 years. In fact, my wife is a proud graduate of the class of 2005, and all of our school children have attended school here in Los Fresnos Independent Consolidated School District. My wife and I have lived throughout the Rio Grande Valley, and we have observed and found that there's no better city than here in Los Fresnos. I am grateful for this city and its leadership for keeping it safe, clean, and family-friendly. However, there is one area of concern that I, as a resident and parent, have noticed. I'm here today to express my concern and propose a solution to the City Council in the hopes that it will be taken seriously and with prompt action. In short, it is in the best interest of Los Fresnos, both now and in the future, to create and fund an official Parks and Recreation Department. We need this because we currently have low youth participation in sports and recreation. Parents are unsure of where to enroll their children in sports programs, and a robust Parks and Recreation Department can bring the community together more effectively than any other city department. Over the past month, I have conducted extensive research on this topic. While my research is not yet complete, I would like to share some of my findings. We have approximately 4,860 students enrolled in our school district across 6 elementary schools. Based on discussions with Parks and Recreation leaders in various cities, both within and outside the valley, it is typical to have 20% of school children participating in sports programs. This would mean we should have about 900 kids participating in these programs. However, after meeting with organizations such as the Boys and Girls Club, Little League Baseball, and other private sports leagues like soccer, the highest participation we observed at any given time was 400 children, and that was in baseball. The Boys and Girls Club, which primarily runs the league serving our children, reports around 300 participants for basketball. As a point of separate comparison, consider the number of kids participating in tackle football in 7th grade. According to a coach I spoke to this week, they have approximately 60 kids per grade level at each of the 3 junior high schools, totaling about 150 participants in the 7th grade. However, the Boys and Girls Club, have a total of about, or an average about 40 per grade level, so less than 20 than what the junior high level is. Our current participation levels are alarmingly low. Another significant factor that might be contributing to this low participation rate is that parents are often unaware of where to sign up their kids for these programs, the start dates of these leagues, who runs them, the associated costs, and whether they are affordable. This confusion has been observed not only by myself as a parent who wants their kids involved in sports, but also by other concerned parents who I've met through baseball and other sports. As a responsible city government, it is our duty to serve our citizens, and one way we can do that is by helping them find constructive activities that foster their children's social skills, resilience, and overall well-being, enabling them to become productive adults and future taxpayers in this great city. Lastly, I want to emphasize tremendous benefits that sports programs can bring to our city. If you ever been to the Little League baseball games, you would witness the sense of community we have. You see the future generation, volunteer coaches, parents, and interested onlookers all united in developing that next generation. It is a beautiful sight, but we need more of it. Based on my observation and research, I propose 3 actions. First, we should start small, but be effective by creating an official Parks and Recreation Facebook page. This page should provide information about the available leagues for kids to join, information who runs them, when and where they take place, the basic price, and contact information. Second, we should advertise this page on the city website, promote it with flyers here in City Hall, and distribute them to schools at the beginning of the year. Third, we need to support the existing private leagues such as the Boys and Girls Club and Little League Baseball, along with other relevant private leagues that benefit our youth. This support can be achieved through collaboration, identifying ways the city can assist them, and holding them accountable by tracking their success, particularly if they are utilizing taxpayer money. In conclusion, creating an official Parks and Recreation department and addressing the low participation rates in sports and recreation activities, as well as the lack of clarity, is crucial for the present and future of Los Fresnos. By starting small but strategically, we can make a positive impact on our community, provide constructive outlets for our children, and foster a sense of unity and engagement among our residents. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Gillespie. Thanks for coming today. At this time, we'll move to the consent agenda items. We have a total of 9 consent agenda items. Is there any of those that the board would like to exclude? If not, if we can get a vote or a motion?
Make a motion, we pass all 9 agendas.
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Vincent.
I'll go ahead and second that.
And seconded by Commissioner Macias. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 1, consideration and action to approve an ordinance of the City of Los Fresnos, Texas, designating a geographic area within the City of Los Fresnos as a reinvestment zone for tax increment financing purposes pursuant to Chapter 311 of the Texas Code, to be known as Texas Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 2, City of Los Fresnos, and describing the boundaries of the zone and creating a board of directors for the zone and establishing a tax increment fund for the zone and containing findings and provisions related to the creation of the zone and providing the date of the termination of the zone and providing the zone take effect immediately upon passage of the ordinance and providing a servability clause and providing for publication and declaring an effective date. It's a long one. Mark?
We talked about this over the last 6 or 8 months, and this is just the next step in the process. We put in there, you know, the directors would be the mayor and 5 councilmen, as well as we would put not Commissioner Garza by name, but Precinct 3, the representative, which at this time is Commissioner Garza. And I think you've got all the rest of the information.
I read it over and I have no further questions. If there's a motion to be made, now's the time.
I make a motion to approve action item number 1. Consideration and action to approve the ordinance of the City of Los Fresnos to designate the geographic area with the City of Los Fresnos and investment zone.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to read it all. Okay, motion has been made by
Well,
Commissioner Munoz and seconded by Commissioner Vincent. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 2, consideration and action to approve a resolution approving the creation of the Woods at Los Fresnos Redevelopment Authority, a local government corporation, and approving the certificate of formation thereof and confirming the appointment of the initial directors and containing findings and other provisions related to the subject.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is the next step in that resolution. The only thing different is I think it recalls on the resolution for formation is 3 individuals. And I guess it could be 3 of them, right? 2.
It can be 3 of them or any 3 citizens that are 18 question.
So to make it easy, just 3 of those individuals, I think it'd be easiest.
Okay, do we have to designate those individuals at this time?
Yeah, I think it'd be best.
Okay, so I'd like to volunteer for one. Anybody else? We got 2 more volunteers. Okay, volunteers also been done by Commissioner Macias.
I'll volunteer.
Commissioner Vincent will be the 3rd. At this time,
Then make that into a motion.
at this time, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve this resolution and taking the 3 of us as directors, appointed initial directors.
They're incorporated.
I'm sorry?
They're incorporated.
Incorporators, okay, that's the proper term, incorporators, 3 incorporators. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve it.
I second the motion.
And it's been seconded by Commissioner Munoz. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to approve bid proposals received for auditing services and authorize the city manager to negotiate an agreement.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you all. The rating committee got together and rated the 3 firms, and you can see the ratings. Burton McCumber LaGuardia came in the highest rated. The second highest rated is Carr Riggs Ingram, and the 3rd is Carlos Coscos and Associates. And so we're asking you to approve that rating. Let me negotiate with a top firm on a price and move forward. If we can't come to an agreement on that first one, we move to the second one. But that's why you approve the rating as it was presented.
And the first one that we approved, that one was very, very, it was a very good one that we looked at. I know that the existing one we had some concerns about. We felt like this one that scored the most points felt very promising. So, it wasn't the best price, but it was very close to it, and that's where Mark will work on the negotiation of the price. So, if there's a motion to be made at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve the bid proposals as received for auditing, whichever the group selected, which I think was Longoria. Was it one of them?
Was it Longoria? Yeah.
Burton, McCumber, and LaGuardia.
Yeah, that one.
Approve the
McCumber.
rating as they are and start with them.
Okay, so motion has been made by Commissioner Macias,
I second the
seconded by Commissioner Munoz. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to approve engineering for the water line extension from Walmart 1004 West Ocean Boulevard to Hands of Healing 32799 State Highway 100.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, that area is served by water currently through Almito Water Supply. Their I guess pressures and volume are not adequate to really serve the area, so they've agreed to allow us to extend our service all the way up to FM 1575, which is there by the school, Harvey's. That would be the new separation. From there on, it'll continue to be Almito. From there back would be us. We don't have the funds to do all of that right now. They will continue to be, the rest of them will continue to be serviced by Almito, but Hands of Healing, because they have a foster service that they use, they need pressure, higher volume in the sprinkler system. We can provide that. And so what we're proposing is to connect there at Walmart and run it to the Hands of Heating. It will take care of 4 properties, and 2 of those properties will be developed more as time goes on. The caveat to there on the construction cost, Hands of Healing is agreed to pay half of the construction cost. So it's like getting a grant, a 50% grant. And so I think it's very advantageous for us and beneficial. We'll keep the rest of it, the extension, on the to-do list as we get money to do that.
This will just have us ready to go, and they'll be ready to pay 50% when that's ready.
Right, we can get this part of it done now.
Okay. Any questions from the board? If not, if there's a motion? I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve this water line extension.
I second the motion.
So the motion has been seconded by Commissioner Munoz. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to approve a proposal to renew the Los Fresnos wastewater plant permit WQ00105990-002.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, every 5 years we have to renew our water plant license. It's pretty technical stuff that has to be done through TCEQ to get that done. Before, we've had engineers do it. They're pretty expensive. We found a company, Carlos has found a company that does this. That's all they do. And so they've got it down to a science and know how to do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because they do so many of them, and it's substantially cheaper. We'd contract with them for $4,400, so it's much better than the $18,000 through an engineering firm. So that's our recommendation.
It's a big difference.
It's not a choice whether we do it or not. We have to.
We have to, it's
We
just a
have
matter
to,
of getting at a better price.
Otherwise, we can't continue operating our sewer plant.
All right, board, is there any questions or a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Okay, motion has been made to accept by Commissioner Vincent,
I'll go ahead and second that, Mayor.
and it's been seconded by Commissioner Macias. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, we'll be acknowledging city managers' reports. Any updates or discussion from the board or questions? Now's the time. Mark, any word on that Highway 100 project? Are they looking to, I see that they're already putting the side of the sidewalk. You just haven't filled in?
Yeah, they haven't given us a timeline because the timeline was May and then it was June, so they haven't. You can just see some progress. It's just not very much at a time. When they started the area by the road tracks, they said they would have it done in 2 weeks, and you knew that was going to happen, but.
I see that they stripped the road already. They started putting the like all the little reflectors and stuff on this side of the road.
Yes, sir. From the, the good thing is from the light east is done. They're done with everything there. So once they get the railroad track area done, they've got to go back and fix some soft spots that have occurred. And they do that, and then they'll come back and overlay the final layer.
I see they broke ground on the memorial right here in the front of City Hall. Do you know what time frame that's going to take to be complete?
Just by the end of the year, they want to be complete. Exciting.
Yes, it is.
Jackie sent a message out today, and how many hits has he got?
Quite a few. 60 or 70 hits, wow.
Lot of shares, a lot of good positive
Yeah.
comments.
And, you know, as far as street projects and stuff, I know somebody had made a comment about fixing our streets. I know that's something that we're working on, and we should be getting that started sometime here very soon, correct?
September.
September. I know that people are going to appreciate that, you know, the upgrades that we'll be doing in the city streets, sidewalks and all that good stuff, drainage. Alrighty, at this time, yeah, go ahead.
And the Escalante Road for the sewer hookups, I know I had some residents ask me about when they were gonna get hooked up to their city sewer line, and in reading your report, it says they're still dealing with easement issues. You know anything come up on that or lately or anything?
The easement issue is with East Rio Hondo Water Supply, and it actually is right across from what I would call the old Escalante store, there by the school. East Rio Hondo has all of that easement, and they want us to go around it, and we really can't go around it because it won't flow. And so we're working with them, trying to get that resolved. So as soon as, there's really only, besides the Escalante rental places, there's only one home that's gonna get sewer service. Because the rest of them live outside the city, they're not gonna get, I don't know who he's talking
So the
to.
one on Escalante Road, the one that runs north and south? Is that not part of the city? The ones, I think it was a discussion at one point about who owned the roadway?
I don't know, it runs east and west, and then it turns a little bit, but it doesn't really go north.
That's Los Fresnos.
No, sir. If you know where Mr. Duncan lives, that's the next lot past it, Mr. Vega owns, and that's where the city limit line is. The rest of those residents live outside the city. They're not in the
Duncan is
city.
the one that I'm asking for.
Do I?
And Mr. Duncan's the one I'm asking for.
Correct,
He's in the city.
correct. Yeah, once we get the easement, they're ready to fire it up and
Does that take a while? Do you know how long something like that takes? No estimated time? It could take years? Could it take weeks, months?
we've already been messing with it about 2 months.
Okay.
What is one that says that on Highway 100, like the motel, what's not going through, or what's the problem with that? That's just about.
Can you be more specific? Tell me,
FM 57, most responsible for the test stop, they don't see if there's a major issue or not interested.
which item,
Where'd you get that from?
which item?
Yes, on page 130.
Yeah, on page 113, on the very top.
113 on the
Okay.
top.
Yeah, it's where it's backed up since they put in the curb and gutter, how many ever years ago. Remember with kids, it was a bar ditch, drained fine, they put curb and gutter. Since then, when we get a heavy rain, it backs up and floods the road because they didn't put big enough drain tiles. But TxDOT says it doesn't happen very often, doesn't get any businesses. You have to close the outside lanes, you can still get through. And so it's not, it's not something that they're gonna address. But
So
it's
the
their
motel's not
problem.
inside the city limits, no?
Excuse me?
Is the motel inside the city limits or no?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
that answer your question, Commissioner Munoz? Okay. Any other questions from the board, or is there a motion to be made on the acknowledgement of the city manager's reports?
I'll make a motion, we pass city manager's report.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Vincent. And I'll go ahead and second that. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time will be acknowledgement of the department head reports. We have a total of 7. Any questions or comments in regards to any of the 7 department head reports? And if not, if there's a motion to be made.
I have a question on the police department's report. And it's the one that I've been asking since February. Been trying to get the crime rates for the city and the crime clearance rates for the city. And they've yet to produce them, or haven't been able to make them, or I don't know what the holdup is.
We're working on it. It's not something that we've ever done before, so it's very difficult to compute and calculate. So we're pretty close to it. I'm working on the finished product, but hopefully have it in another couple weeks.
So by the next meeting, maybe we can start getting an outline?
Yeah, it's just one, it's based on 2022 data is what he's asking for.
Okay. Any other questions, Commissioner Macias, in regards to the police department reports?
No, that's it. I was just wondering that.
All right, if there's no other further questions, is there a motion on the department head reports?
Make a motion to approve the reports as stated.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Macias
I second the motion.
and seconded by Commissioner Munoz. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. The time is now 6:27. We'll go to adjourn the meeting. Have a good evening.